Okay, so the evaluation also explain about the disbursement and reimbursement. So what is reimbursement, right? It refers to the expenses incurred by the payee in the cost of rendering services or sales of goods to the payer, which are reimbursed by the payer. And disbursements are the expenses incurred by the payer and paid to the third party on behalf of the payer by the payee in connection with the service render or sales, right? So what does it really mean, right? So let's take a look at here. First of all, what's payee? Payee is referred to a person or entity that received the payment. So uh, people who receive the payment. So that's called payee. In the cost of reimbursement, the payee is an individual or the organization incur expenses on behalf of another pay party and is now being reimbursed. So there's an example here, say right? So let's say employees, right, spend money on the business travel. So an employee is the payee because it's going to receive the payment. Now, okay, and then the payer is the person or entity that makes the payment. So in the case of reimbursement, the payer is the party that agreed to reimburse the expenses. Okay, so let's say I send my corporate salespersons to go and meet clients, right? So there is the toll or the accommodation, right? So the accommodation is the expenses my salesperson pay first and later claim it back. So that that my employee is a payee and then I am the payer as a company. So yes, the one who pay is called payer. The one who receive the payment is called payee. So let's go here again, right? So it's the expenses incurred by the payee in the cost of rendering services. So the payee actually pay first, right? So we can pay for the air flight ticket, accommodation, and later at the end of the month, right, claim back, right? So that's one example. The disbursement is a bit different, right? Quite different, right? Let's just take a look at what's the difference between the disbursement versus reimbursement. Okay, um, disbursement is money spent paid out directly. The key is about disbursement is directly by an organization, uh, right, to settle expenses. Reimbursement is that repayment to an individual expense that were incurred on behalf of the payer. So payer, right? So for example, that here is another example, right? Is that employer pays for the business hotel stay and later get the reimbursed. That's called reimbursement. Now, if the company pay directly, that's called disbursement. Okay, usually finance department will arrange that. Another example is that when we as a training providers, right, creative wise, right, we arrange training for a company to do team building, and the team building events, right, is this club med, and then guess what, that costs some money, right, and then but we don't pay. So what happened is that the company, our clients, right, clients will actually what I call that pay directly to club med, right? So that is called disbursement. It's paid directly. So just show you one example, right? Now this is it, right? See, this is here, right? So this amount 22,000, right, is paid directly to the client, pay directly to that, right? So in that case, we will not really we can't follow with the money, right? So let's just see here. Okay, so that is reimbursement, and you can see that there's a sample here, right? Reimbursement means you pay back, right? And then let's take a look at here. Now here we got an example is that the supplier one, right, is the main suppliers and provide services to customer A. Okay, so you see one service to customer A. Okay, and then now let's go here as that. Okay, let's another example will be here. There are two suppliers. Okay, so there's the event management company, and then there's a hotel management. So let's see, right? Supplier one issue e-invoice to buyer. Okay, but who pay? Oh, supplier two pay. Okay, supplier two pay for it, huh? So not the buyer pay. If the buyer pay directly, it's called uh, a disbursement. But if the supplier pay on behalf first, right, on behalf of buyer, is then the buyer supplier two will later go and reimburse from the buyer. So then, of course, right, it'd be different, right? Now, supplier one issue an e-invoice directly to buyer for the goods sold rendered to buyer. Yeah, supplier one, as you can see here, let's go back here, right here. Okay, we'll just put supplier one issue an e-invoice directly to the buyer. The e-invoice supplier one you see issue directly to the buyer. Supplier make payment to supplier one. Right, notice that this is the key difference, right? That's because of arrangement by supplier two and buyer. So now supplier two will issue an e-invoice to buyer. See that? Buyer two, right? Will issue an e-invoice to the buyer for the goods and services. Now, the supplier has already issued an e-invoice to the buyer. The same should not be included in the e-invoice issued by supplier two to buyer. So that means that, right, let's say, let's come back to this example here, right? So, okay, now suppose that this services, right, is 10,000. Okay, so supply two pay 10,000 to the supply one. Okay, wait, yeah, I paid to supply one, and then actually the service fee is 5,000 to the buyer, right? And then also you have a 10,000 there, right? So 10,000, okay. So 10,000 is from here to here. Let's take a look at here, right? See here, okay. 5,000 is really the services fee. We'll just give a number here, right? So what happened is that essentially should not be included in the e-invoice share here, right? So this 10,000 should not be included. So let's just say that where's the cross there? Okay, right there. Okay, this shouldn't be included, right? Otherwise, this will be duplicate already, right? Because here already have an e-invoice. That means the buyer here already recognize that this is the expenses to the buyer, and this here another time, right? So this shouldn't be there. That's what happened. Okay, another example would be this here, a DEF company, DEF, right? Then the company, yeah, it's a subsidiary of ABC. Okay, I guess that's it, right? So I think I explained pretty well on this reimbursement disbursement for the very first time. Right? Thank you very much. Watch this first.